What's good, y'all? It's your boy Havoc with Final Round. It's going down tonight. This is huge for boxing. We got Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I'm so excited for this fight, especially considering we've been missing out on the mega fights. Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford. It keeps on falling through. Just recently, Alexander Usyk versus Fury. Sounds like it's not going to happen. Both of those fights for undisputed not going down. So this is a pleasant treat for boxing. We're going to get two young fighters in their prime chasing greatness. And we got to give a lot of credit. Before I get into my prediction and my breakdown, we got to give a lot of credit to Ryan Garcia. This is huge, man. He's on the B side. He's accepting a lot of conditions that are putting him at a huge disadvantage. Furthermore, I mean, to take this chance against a young killer like Tank Davis, who's a southpaw, it just goes to show you got to give Ryan Garcia a lot of credit. Whether you like him or not, you got to give him respect for this. No matter what happens and goes down tonight, even if he gets flatlined, I think we got to pick this young man up and we got to support him for taking a huge chance, because that's the way we're going to get to see the fights we want to see. If we sit there and we condemn fighters and they take a chance and then we don't want to see their fights after they take one loss, or we don't support them, or we say they're fraudulent, then guys aren't going to want to take a chance. And we know this, man. We see it in UFC all the time. Just because you have losses on your record doesn't mean you're a bad fighter, doesn't mean you're not an entertaining fighter, or that you're not worthy of big matchups. And same with Canelo. Canelo's taken some losses. Does that mean we just dispose of him? No. Still a great fighter, still entertaining to watch. So same thing for Ryan Garcia. I think this is great for him. I think this is a great opportunity for Tank. But that being said, I can't see Tank losing tonight. And the breakdown, let's get into it. This is how I see it. I think Tank Davis is going to start off patient, like we've seen him in the past, trying to find his distance, his timing, his rhythm. Obviously, he's a very undersized fighter against most of the guys he goes up against. So it's wise for him to be patient. It's wise for him to be patient, to find his distance and his timing and his rhythm. And I think we're going to see that tonight. Quite contrary to what Leonard Ellerbe is saying might happen, sounds like there might be a game plan for Tank to go in there and storm Ryan Garcia and check his chin. Now, I don't see that happening, and I think that could be a little bit of mind games on Ellerbe's part. But that being said, who knows? That is totally possible. Maybe they think they can get in on Ryan Garcia early and take him out and check his chin. But what I realistically think is going to happen is Tank Davis is going to break Ryan Garcia down first. I think it will happen over the span of 6 rounds. You'll see the left cross from Tank Davis down to the body on Ryan. Okay, he's going to pot shot that throughout the first 6 rounds, break Ryan down, slow him down, and as it gets into the later rounds, I think you're going to start to see Tank pick up the pace, pour on the pressure, and then you're going to start seeing him let his hands go. And then we know Ryan Garcia has a bad habit of pulling straight back sometimes with his chin held up and held high, okay, not covered up. And you saw what happened against Luke Campbell. He got chin checked, he got put on the floor. And Luke Campbell is nowhere as near big a puncher as Tank. So I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a KO from Tank in the later rounds, somewhere from 8 to 12. I think he's going to break him down with the left cross to the body, the pot shot. When he finds that timing and rhythm, he's going to start pouring on the pressure. I think it could be an overhand left that puts Garcia down. And even this, if you're able to take away Ryan Garcia's footing and you can get him on the inside, it's going to spell a lot of trouble for Ryan Garcia, because I do not think Ryan Garcia can fight well on the inside. And then we all know Tank has a ridiculous left uppercut. I can see a left uppercut putting Ryan Garcia out in the later rounds, but I'm going to say it's going to be the overhand left or a left cross. But I would not sleep on Ryan Garcia for this fight. Has many great attributes, very talented. He's got speed, he's got timing, he's got reaction, he's got a little bit of power. I shouldn't say a little bit, he has a lot of power. I just don't know if it's comparable to Tank. And he's got some size and height and range. And I think if he's patient, he can put himself in an advantageous position to possibly win this fight. I do not see Ryan Garcia knocking out Tank, but I do think he can outpoint him. Ryan Garcia did mention that Tank has a low punch volume or punch output. That can work toward Ryan Garcia's advantage. But Tank, being the undersized guy, being a southpaw, Ryan Garcia is going to have to keep Tank busy with his lead left hand. Doesn't necessarily mean he needs to land the jab consistently at a high volume, but he needs to keep it on Tank at all times. He needs to keep the range. He needs to keep the distance. Make Tank reach. Make him get impatient. You know, jab the lead hand. Jab the shoulder. Aim for the head sometimes. And Ryan Garcia has shown that he has some good southpaw tactics. He is willing to work out to his right towards the power hand of a southpaw fighter, as you saw against Fortuna, to lead his left hand. So he does know how to utilize some unique southpaw or orthodox tactics against the southpaw. He will sneak his lead foot on the inside to land that jab, to land that hook, which could be a huge advantage for him. So if Ryan Garcia can keep Tank Davis at the end of his jab, okay, and keep disrupting his rhythm and his timing, touch his shoulders, touch his lead hand, just keep that lead hand, keep Tank busy with that lead hand, make Tank reach in the later rounds and walk into a good right hand. Okay, I think that could be huge. Good right cross. Garcia has a lot of speed, has a lot of power. If he can time that, be patient, keep his distance, maybe Tank will get overzealous in the later rounds because maybe he feels like he's falling back on the scorecards. He reaches in, he lunges in, boom, Ryan can catch him with the right hand. And then once you start catching him with the right hands, maybe you can set up that beautiful left hook to the body or even the head. Like I said, Ryan Garcia does know how to utilize his lead foot on the inside to land a clean jab, and then that will also help him land his lead hook. So my strategy, if I'm Ryan Garcia, is keep the distance, keep Tank busy with your lead hand, wait for Tank to get overzealous, time him with the right hand, and then when you're able to land that right hand consistently, then you set him up with the big left hook to the body or to the head. Okay, not that that's going to knock Tank out, but maybe that will be enough to get his respect, and that's going to be huge. His right hand is going to be huge. He's going to have to land that right hand and get Tank's respect, because if he doesn't get Tank's respect, Tank is going to walk him down. He's going to start putting pressure. He's going to start putting volume. He's going to start attacking him to the body, and he's going to land a big one to the head, and it's going to be good night Sally. So that's the way I see it. But I think Tank is going to get the upper hand. I think he's going to execute his game plan better. I wasn't buying into Tank early on in his career, but as I've seen him progress fight after fight after fight, and especially after that Hector Garcia fight. Hector Garcia is an underrated fighter, very good fighter. And I think seeing what I saw in that fight was beautiful on Tank's part. He was very tactical. He showed a lot of different shades of boxing, from inside to outside to mid-range. It shows he has a great chin, speed, power, timing, rhythm, distance, patient, discipline. We're starting to see him turn into a complete fighter, and it's hard for me to pick against a guy like Tank Davis. And I think another issue for Ryan Garcia is he doesn't fight well on the inside. Doesn't have much head movement. Footwork is kind of okay, but I think there's just too much Tank has in his arsenal to win the fight, and especially if Tank can find his way to the inside, it's going to spell for a lot of trouble. And then on top of that, he's a southpaw. He's going to have that advantage. He's going to have a certain amount of comfort, and this is not Fortuna. This is not Javier Fortuna. This is a very talented guy in Tank, and then on top of that, his size being shorter is actually going to be a huge advantage to him when you add all the attributes of speed, power, timing, reaction, high IQ. That's the way I see it. I got Tank winning this fight by KO, 8-12, but I think Ryan Garcia has a shot. Hit up your boy. It's your boy Havoc. Find a round. Get at me.